I bought a foreclosure in central Maine last September. A small split level at the end of an unpaved road called Pelham Creek Lane. The phone in the kitchen was still hooked up when I moved in. A brown rotary unit, cord coiled, mounted on the wall above the counter. I have not made a phone call from a landline in 12 years. I did not bring a phone with me. The line is supposed to be dead. The phone has rung every Tuesday at 4 a.m. for 6 months. The voice on the other end describes the day I am about to live. Pelham Creek Lane is the kind of road that does not appear on standard maps. 3 houses, all unoccupied except mine. The nearest town is 22 minutes by car, longer in winter. Cell signal cuts a mile back at a barn that has been collapsing into itself for the last decade. The realtor warned me about the isolation. She did not tell me the landline was still active. She did not tell me the previous owner had also moved in single. She did not tell me he had lasted a full year before he stopped paying the mortgage and walked into the woods behind the house in November. I work from home. Software contracts. The internet up there is satellite, slow but reliable. I had the wood stove cleaned and learned to split kindling. I had the well tested. I cooked dinner most nights at the gas stove and washed my plates at the sink. I did not use the phone. It sat on the wall with its receiver in the cradle. I did not pick it up the first month. I did not even unplug it. There is a small piece of masking tape on the side of the unit with a phone number written in faded blue pen. I did not call the number. The first ring came at 4 a.m. on a Tuesday in October. I was already awake, the way you are awake in a new house when the heating system clicks on. The bell on a real rotary phone is louder than I had remembered. It rang 4 times. I let it. There was no answering machine. I expected it to stop. It rang again at 4:03. I went down the stairs and stood beside it. The cord was hanging down the wall. The wire to the wall jack looked corroded. The bell rang a 3rd time at 4:07. I picked up. The voice was a man's. Calm. Quiet. Flat effect, as if reading. He said good morning. He said it was a Tuesday in October. He said I would make coffee at 6:45 and burn the second piece of toast. He said I would call my sister at 10 and the call would go to voicemail. He said I would drive into town at 1 and find the gas station on Maine closed for repairs. He said I would come home at 4 and have a beer on the back porch. Then he hung up. I assumed it was a prank. I made coffee at 6:45. Everything he said happened that day. The second piece of toast burned. My sister did not answer at 10. The gas station was closed. The beer was on the porch. I made a written list afterward. Every item matched. I considered the simple explanations. Hacked phone. Known routine. He could not have known about the gas station. The owner had taken a heart attack at 12:48 that day, 3 hours after the call. I checked his obituary the next morning. He had not been sick. The closure was unannounced. There was no way the voice had known. There was no way the voice had been wrong. The phone keeps ringing every Tuesday at 4 a.m. I have stopped picking it up some weeks. I have answered other weeks to confirm. The voice is always the same man. The flat effect, the patient delivery. He does not respond if I speak. He simply talks for 40 to 50 seconds and then hangs up. I had a phone company technician drive out from town to inspect the line. He went into the basement, traced the wire, and found that the jack on the kitchen wall is not connected to anything. The cord goes into the wall and ends in plaster. There is no phone line running to my house. I cut the cord with kitchen scissors. The phone rang the next Tuesday. I unplugged it from the wall. The phone rang the Tuesday after. I carried it out to the burn pile behind the house and set it on top of a stack of brush. I did not light it. The phone rang at 4 a.m. from the burn pile. I picked it up because I was tired and I wanted to hear what he had to say. He said it was the Tuesday before the bad one. He said I should pay attention to the corner of the field tomorrow at 3. He said he would be visible to me. At 3 the next afternoon I went out to the back field. About 2 acres of tall grass and a single split rail fence. The previous owner walked into the woods behind that fence in November and was never found. I stood at the porch and looked. The corner of the field is where the fence meets the tree line. At 3 exactly, I saw a man there. He did not move. He wore the flannel coat and work boots the realtor had described for the previous owner. I waved. He did not wave back. He watched me for 40 seconds. Then he was gone. The grass at the corner was not bent. The phone still rings every Tuesday at 4 a.m. I let it ring now. I have stopped answering. Last week the voice changed for the first time in 6 months. It was no longer a man's voice. It was a woman's voice. Calm, quiet, flat effect, the way you describe something you have already lived through. She said good morning. She said it was a Tuesday in March. She said I would make coffee at 6:45. She said I would burn the second piece of toast. I did not pick up the call. She talked anyway. Through the receiver in the cradle. She knew my day before I lived it.